Gone are the days when writers used to work for newspapers and magazines. Content marketing is projected to be a $487 billion industry by 2026. Brands today use content to build brand awareness, gain trust of their audience, and even sell their products. The fulcrum of this huge industry is content marketing writers. But wait a second, who are these people? Well, a content marketing writer creates blog posts, ebooks, landing pages, website copy, maybe even video copy, a podcast script, and any other kind of content for the purpose of digital marketing. The goal of such writing is generally to educate, inspire, entertain, and persuade your readers. The last word is super important and many writers miss out on it. We'll talk about it later in the video. So, here are 5 things that you need to know to become a successful content marketing writer in 2023. Number 1, help your company achieve its content marketing goals. Content marketing typically has 2 goals. You either want to generate brand awareness for your product, or you want to generate leads and revenue for your company through content. A brand may also want to generate or foster brand loyalty through their content marketing. So as a content marketing writer, what does this mean for you? Well, first up, the topics that you choose to write about should always be relevant to your target audience. These topics could either be suggested by the company based on their research, or they could be ones that you have to think about. If you are proactively suggesting topics to your client, then you should know the goal of their content marketing campaign. You also need to know whom you are writing for. It's typically called as the buyer persona. One piece of content is typically written for one specific kind of prospect. So maybe you're writing an article on marketing tools. Are you writing for beginner marketers? Are you writing for intermediate practitioners in the industry or expert folks? The kind of direction that you take in your writing is going to depend on the exact audience and the goal of that content piece. Which brings me to my next point. What do you want to achieve with the content piece? Do you want the reader to take a specific action? Maybe they have to subscribe to your newsletter. Knowing the answers to these questions is important. It will inform your writing's direction. You also want to know the marketing goals associated with the content piece. You also want to know what is the primary distribution channel for the specific content piece you're working on. Does your client or your full-time employer want to rank in search, or do they want to distribute this piece on social media, maybe specifically on Twitter? You can bake distribution into your piece. If you're writing for search engines, you will want to optimize it by using specific keywords. I've already created a tutorial on SEO writing that you can check out right here. If on the other hand, your company just wants it to be shared on social media, probably quotes from experts or influencers on Twitter will help. It will incentivize them to share the piece on these platforms. And the last thing to help your company achieve its content marketing goals, follow their style guide. How does the company you're writing for want to represent itself? The copy that you will put on page on your WordPress post is going to play a huge role in the same. So be careful of the words that the company tends to use. Find out any specific frameworks that the company tends to rely on for writing their introductions or conclusions. Or maybe they have a specific definition of great content. Just take note of the same before you begin writing. The second thing, write engaging and authoritative content. Let me start with the basics. You have to use simple words. You have to be straightforward. Cut the fluff, get to the point quickly, don't meander around. And if you make any grammatical or spelling errors in your writing, it's going to reflect poorly on the brand you're writing for. So proofread your articles, take help from tools like Grammarly if you want to. So ensure it's polished, and ideally its readability is at the 6th grade. For some industries, though, sophisticated writing is important, so maybe you need to take your writing to 8th, 9th or even the 10th grade. But wait a second, how do you create authoritative content on subjects that you know nothing about? Well, you need to have solid research skills. You will need to go down rabbit holes. You will need to find unexplored angles on subjects. You will need to find examples via research of the ideas that you're about to share in your article. But hey, besides research, there's another way. Get in touch with subject matter experts. Let them guide the overall narrative of your article. Get them to speak on a specific subject that you're about to write and distill their expertise into easy to read writing. That's how you create authoritative content without being an authority on the subject. Remember though, you want to share actionable tips and examples with your reader. If there's practical value in your articles for the reader, it's going to have the ideas in your articles stick in their heads. You also need to work on your micro content copywriting skills. First up, what's micro content? Well, micro content as per NN Group are short text fragments of phrases presented often with no additional contextual support. Some examples include page titles, page headlines, email subject lines, summaries, hints, explainers, pro tips, etc. Now, your micro content can make a lot of difference in your content being engaging and persuasive versus nobody reading it. The reason is most people will rely on the micro content to get some context about your piece. They can get hooked by your micro content and subtly one line by another keep reading and take the desired action that your company wanted your content piece to do. Which brings me to my next point. Beyond the copy, pay attention to the overall user experience on the page. As you know, people are not going to read your content word for word. Do you have any visuals to break down the text? Do you have any videos that you can integrate on the page? Overall, how is the mobile reading experience of the page? If there are some elements on other website that you liked, then share them with your developer. It can help in improving the overall reading experience and having your readers stick more on your website. Content marketing's goal is to drive profitable customer action. It could be to press the buy button, or it could be to start a trial of the product, or at least give the email. So remember that while you write your content piece. The third thing, build your personal brand. If you're in a full-time job, you don't want your reputation to be linked to your employer. As soon as you will exit the company, you will need to rebuild it from scratch. Or if you're working with clients, you don't want one or two clients to hold all the cards. You want more people to know about your content marketing expertise, and you need to build relationships. How do you do that? By being helpful. Hang out on Twitter. If there's somebody in your niche who's asking for some advice, then give it to them for free. If there's somebody looking for a quote for an article, do that. Maybe you're writing an article yourself on your own website or on a client's website. Just mention or link out to somebody who has helped you. You are only returning the favor. You want to make industry friends. You want to have people on your side to cheer for you when you're down and even celebrate your wins with you. Maybe you can virtually hang out with fellow content marketers if you're a freelancer. If you're a full-time content marketer, maybe you can ask your company to send you to a conference. Build out those relationships and be known to other people in the industry. It's not a solo job. So get out there and talk to people, interact with them, help them, and ask for help whenever you need it. A great flywheel that you can rely on to actually expand your personal brand, starting a website or a newsletter. It can be about anything that you're passionate about. Maybe you can just talk about content marketing or content writing, the lessons you're learning on your journey, or it can be about something else altogether. It can help you build an online audience starting from scratch, and it will also help you expand your personal brand in a certain direction. Ultimately, if you have a personal brand, you will be known for something, but you want that to be a gradual process. Don't force it. Maybe try out different things, and then once you know you have an expertise in a certain thing and you enjoy doing it, maybe start positioning your brand, building your personal brand in that direction. For example, I started out as just a writer writing on all kinds of subjects. I accidentally ran into long form writing. I just wrote 2 blog posts that ran into 3000 words, and they received a great response, and my client was pretty happy with the results they got from them. Soon enough, I learned SEO. I came to know that in the B2B niche, SEO writing is all about long form writing. So I combined the two. And now my reputation is in the B2B industry for long form writing. And I specifically can do great long form SEO pieces. Ultimately, your personal brand is going to be a reflection of your body of work. So be intentional about it. Try to do things that you are genuinely liking. And if you're not liking something, then stop doing it. The fourth thing, become a T-shaped content marketer. What do I mean by T-shaped? You want to have a deep expertise in content. Start out with content writing and then maybe content strategy, but you also want to have a broad knowledge of other digital marketing skills. It could mean technical SEO, it could mean user experience or conversion rate optimization, analytics, and other relevant skills. I will specifically recommend you to have some level of understanding in these skill sets. Number one, project management. As a content marketer, if you're freelancing, you will be working with multiple clients. If you're a full-time content marketer, you will be working on various projects or with various teams. You want to be able to manage these projects simultaneously. So you will have to prioritize your tasks and manage your time across these different kinds of things. And that's what project management is all about. To stay on top of deadlines, you will not need to just know how to use a tool like Trello or Asana, although that might help. But you actually need to be able to manage multiple projects and prioritize. Number two, develop basic software expertise. See, right now AI is taking over the world. AI can help you in writing content, AI can help you in a lot of tedious tasks, such as categorizing a bunch of keywords that you have. AI can help you with content generation. AI can help you with writing your outlines. AI can help you with generating titles, or AI can help you with even organizing a bunch of keywords that you have found through research. Be open to learning new software and integrating them in your workflow. There could also be on-page optimization tools like Surfer SEO or Clearer Scope. They even have Chrome extensions, but you need to be able to install them and run them in your Google document and follow their suggestions. Just find your way through the software if it's getting stuck midway. Number three, learn how to measure content performance. See, content managers are notoriously known for not being able to share how their content pieces are driving an ROI for the company. If you don't know the number of leads your content marketing campaign is generating or the engagement that it's bringing on social media, well, your content marketing program might soon get shut. So become data backed. Learn to use Google Analytics. Integrate other tools in your workflow that can inform your content decisions. You need to be able to tie back your content pieces into leads, revenue, and brand awareness for your company. And the fifth thing, build content marketing soft skills. In the content marketing industry, this could be something that most writers may miss out on, but they're really important. Number one, you need to be a problem solver. Well, as a content marketing writer, you don't just have to articulate your ideas clearly, poignantly. You need to think critically from the perspective of your reader and solve their problems. That's how they will find your content engaging. That's how they will trust you and your advice and just buy your company's products. You also need to be able to interview and communicate with multiple stakeholders. Content marketing right now is a lot of reporting. You just research and rehash what everybody else has written. So, how do you differentiate your content piece? Well, you collaborate with experts. These experts could be internal from the company that you are working with or writing the piece for, or they could be external. They could be customers of the company, or just like other people out there in the wild. You may need to get on Zoom calls with them and record their interviews, or you may need to note down insights they share. Ultimately, such collaborative content marketing writing calls for interpersonal skills. The next soft skill on my list is adaptability. You need to adapt to different kinds of writing platforms. You may be writing for email, which will require a warmer and conversational tone, versus SEO, versus search, where you will just need to educate the reader, make it actionable, put your long content piece into digestible chunks. Or maybe social media, where you need to be witty, where you need to use one-liners, where you need to create visual content. If you're writing for multiple clients, you again need to adapt to their different voices. Maybe you're ghostwriting, or just read their content style guide or a few posts on their website and try to mimic the content personality they have. It calls for adaptability. You need to be able to receive feedback gracefully. Well, content marketing writing is not about you. You may be a creative person, but content marketing writing is just about getting results. It's about persuasion, which I talked about in the introduction. So, your content marketing manager might be cutting a couple of paragraphs from your writing. It is just to make your writing more persuasive and engaging. It is nothing personal. You can't get emotional about it. Yes, you may feel bad about it. Understand, it's not about you. It's about helping your customer and ultimately driving profitable customer action. Sometimes you may not know best and your content manager will be sharing constructive feedback. So just use it as an opportunity to improve your skill set. At the same time, you don't want to play nice. Rather be kind. What do I mean? Well, if you will play nice, you will just play a yes man. You will agree to everything that your client is saying or your employer is saying. Instead, you want to take a stand. Instead, you want to be known as somebody who has an opinion. So have it in the first place. Tell the pros and cons in the approach that your client or your employer is taking and stand for something. People will respect that. Being kind is about genuinely caring about the business. It's telling your employer or your client that they can do better, that they are wrong, they have some deficiencies in their thinking, and you're just pointing it out to them. Ultimately, the decision might be theirs, but you're not playing nice. You don't want to just stay polite and agree to everything that your employer or your client is telling you. And the most important soft skill, charge what you're worth. Negotiation is something that's going to come again and again, probably in your content marketing career. That's just how the cards are stacked. You will need to play the game. You will need to proactively search for the average content marketing salary. You will need to search for the writing periods in your niche and tell your client or your employer that, hey, I am worth this. I, for one, have always negotiated in my content marketing career, and that has ensured that I am getting paid more for the same amount of work. It's an important sub skill, but it can really make you uncomfortable. But rather than shying away from it, just take that leap, make that first negotiation, and soon enough, you may be a negotiation expert. Content marketing is going to be a huge industry. It has huge opportunity for writers, and hopefully the 5 things I shared in this video will help you to start on the right foot or course correct if you're already out there doing content marketing writing. Is there something that I have left out? Is there something else that you wanted me to share about content marketing writing? Then let me know in the comments box below.